There is some insane breaking news, and I wanted to bring it to you. First, Sam Altman has just been essentially fired and kicked off of OpenAI. This is absolutely insane. I want to tell you everything that there is to know so far. This is, there's more details coming. This is definitely a developing story, so I'm going to bring you the news as it comes. But I have a very unique perspective and insight into this. I don't think you're going to hear anywhere else, and I wanted to get this recorded right away because I actually have like a couple hour-long meetings I have to go to. So I'm just going to get this done as quick as I can. Let's jump into it. There's no sponsors. Go invest in AI Box on Republic if you want. I'll leave a link in the description. But actually, let's get into the episode. Welcome to the world's #1 AI podcast, AI Chat. I'm your host, Jaden Schaefer. Have you ever wanted to start your own podcast? I record and publish podcasts on a platform called Spotify for Podcasters, and I absolutely love it. Essentially, you can upload from your phone or computer, and it distributes to every platform that plays podcasts. They support video podcasts, and you can make money on the platform with ads or even podcast subscriptions, something that has made my life so much easier as a podcaster. So if you're interested, I highly recommend you give it a try. You can download the Spotify for Podcast app, or go to spotify.com/podcasters to get started on your podcast today. So Sam Altman has been pushed out of OpenAI. This is what their board said, and I'm going to read you their whole statement because it's very interesting. I've just posted it on LinkedIn, but this is the snippet I want to start with. They said, quote, "Mr. Altman's departure follows a deliberate review process by the board, which concluded that he was not consistently candid in his communications with the board, hindering its ability to exercise its responsibility. The board no longer has confidence in his ability to continue leading OpenAI." First off, what the flying heck are they talking about? They don't have confidence in his ability to continue leading OpenAI. He just took a company from $0 to their most recent valuation of $90 billion. Sam Altman was a legend. Now, the question is, essentially, he just got Steve Jobs, right? Steve Jobs got kicked out of Apple. He had to work his way up from the bottom after starting his other companies in the meantime. And then he became the CEO again before he passed away, sadly. Okay, so Sam Altman just had the same thing happen. Built this company, now he's getting kicked out. And now a lot of people are saying, okay, this is because of Microsoft. They own 49% of the company. So he got too, hot. He got too close to the fire. And they decided he was too much of a star player. They got to kick him out. They don't want him taking too much glory. Now, the thing that I will say in researching is that allegedly the board seats of OpenAI are a majority of them are quote unquote independent, and these are people that cannot have any equity or investment in the company. Now, the thinking here is that essentially that means they're not owned or controlled by Microsoft, but that doesn't mean they're not actually owned or controlled by Microsoft. I know people probably don't like to hear this, but there is business lobbyists. There's all sorts of shady stuff that can happen in order to essentially, and I'm not saying this is happening, but there's all sorts of shady stuff that can happen to manipulate those specific board members to say one thing or another. Now, what's interesting though is that the board members are saying specifically he was not candid. He was not consistently candid in his communication with the board. AKA, they're saying Sam Altman was lying to us about something, so we're kicking him out. This is so interesting. I want to read you their whole statement and everything that they're talking about here. Now, the thing that I think is really, really interesting is what's currently being said on Hacker News. I want to read you this clip. Somewhat hidden beneath the huge headline of Altman being kicked out is that Brockman, the chair of the board, is also out, which could indicate something more systemically wrong than just a typical CEO did something bad situation. As part of this transition, Greg Brockman, this is what OpenAI said, as part of this transition, Greg Brockman will be stepping down as chairman of the board and will remain in his role at the company reporting to the CEO. In other words, he's kicked off the board. They're not kicking him out of the company necessarily. Someone below that commented and said, which implies a coup, 4 voting against 2. And it could be for any reason, even purely ethical, like, quote, we don't want to license this technology to better sell products to tweens, for example. Then someone else said, remember that Greg Brockman is the co-founder of OpenAI, and like Sam Altman, he is a main driving force behind the scenes. Now both are gone. There must be something really, really seriously wrong. Someone else commented, there was no AI. It was just interns answering questions on the site known as ChatGPT. That'd be pretty hilarious. And that'd be a funny scandal, right? That OpenAI doesn't exist. It's just people behind the scenes answering questions. So everyone got fired. Okay. So it would seem to appear that there's some sort of lie or fraud happening at the company. That's what the board in their, corporate lingo is essentially saying. And you're not going to hear other people giving you this take, by the way. But that would be, is what they're saying. Now, okay, if we want to just talk about jokes for a second, some people said, quote, he hallucinated to the board. That's a funny comment. Someone named Erlich Bachman on Twitter, which I think is funny, said, prediction. What Sama, which that's Sam Altman's Twitter handle, what Sama failed to appraise the board of was that OpenAI has actually achieved AGI, and internally they have concluded that it is now a sentient conscious being. Okay, that's funny, right? But I want to read you the entire message that they just recently said, essentially, and talk about this because I think this is really, really interesting. So here is the full text from OpenAI's announcement. Quote, Chief Technology Officer Mira Murati, okay, and I have a whole rabbit hole of conspiracy theories around this, is appointed interim CEO to lead OpenAI. Sam Altman departed the company. Search process is underway to identify permanent successors. Okay, so he's out. They're bringing in this interim CEO, which is a co-founder. She's from Albania, interestingly enough. And until they find someone, she's going to be running it. The board of directors of OpenAI acts as the overall governing body of OpenAI activities. Today announced that Sam Altman will depart as CEO and leave the board of directors. Mira Murati, the company's chief technology officer, will serve as interim CEO effective immediately. A member of OpenAI's leadership team for 5 years, Mira has played a critical role in OpenAI's evolution as a global AI leader. She brings a unique skill set, understanding of the company's values, operations, and business, and already leads the company's research, product, and safety functions. Given her long tenure and close engagement with all aspects of the company, including her experience in AI governance and policy, the board believes she is uniquely qualified for the role and anticipates a seamless transition while it conducts a formal search for a permanent CEO. This is interesting because it would appear that this isn't like a hostile takeover run by her. Like she was jealous of Sam Altman and wants to take over because she's just the interim and they're looking for a permanent replacement. So they're not saying she's, the person to take over this. As we know, so this is a direct statement from the board, said, quote, OpenAI was deliberately structured to advance our mission to ensure that artificial intelligence benefits all humanity. The board remains fully committed to serving this mission. We are grateful for Sam's many contributions to the founding and growth of OpenAI. Oh my gosh, I hate when the board, hostile takeover, kicks someone out and then they're like, we're so grateful for all their contributions. It's I'm sure Sam is so mad, yes, save it. Okay, they said, at the same time, we believe new leadership is necessary as we move forward. So many questions remain unanswered in that. We believe it's necessary. Why do you believe it's unnecessary? Sam Altman obviously absolutely crushed it running this company. He did not. Yeah, okay, anyways. Moving on. Quote, as the leader of the company's research, product, and safety function, Mira is exceptionally qualified to step into the role of interim CEO. We have the utmost confidence in her ability to lead OpenAI during this transition period. OpenAI's board of directors consists of OpenAI chief scientist, Ilya Sukever, independent director, which is Quora CEO Adam D'Angelo. Oh my gosh, I did not realize that the Quora CEO is one of the directors of OpenAI. Okay, for those that don't know, Quora launched a product called Poe.com, and it is one of the big, it's honestly one of the big AI players in a sense that you can access OpenAI, but you can also access Anthropic's Claude platforms on Quora. This is very, very interesting. I did not realize that the CEO of Quora was on there, Adam D'Angelo. This is interesting because he allows you to use, he's not like an OpenAI. Okay, so here's what's interesting. No one on the board can have ownership of OpenAI. That's how they structured it because of their open source thing that they were going to do before they turned it into a closed source company. So the idea being when OpenAI succeeds, they can't make money off of it. But obviously, Adam is making a lot of money off of it because he launched Quora, which has become incredibly popular. And all Quora is access to ChatGPT and Anthropic's Claude and a couple other AI models. So Adam is making a lot of money off of OpenAI succeeding, but he's still kicking Sam off. That's very interesting and important. And also, I think conflict of interest. Okay, so there's the whole conflict of interest where it's and the same thing happens in government where it's you want to, for example, when you're making AI regulations, it's like you want to talk to the head of, industry in AI because they're the ones that are the experts on this field. So you want to consult them when you're talking about regulation, but also they could make regulations that hurt their competitors and hurt other people from coming in. That's the thing that Sam Altman was accused of, is pulling up the regulatory ladder, pulling up the ladder behind him by getting regulatory capture, making regulations that made it harder for other people to start AI companies now that he's already sucked up the world's data. So what's really interesting here is that Adam D'Angelo is making money off of this, even though the board was structured in a way that he technically wasn't supposed to make money off of this. He's making money off of it. He's got the inside scoop on there. He's going to have like permission to get access to these platforms first. Very interesting. Okay, other board members, technology entrepreneur Tasha McCulley and Georgetown Center for Security and Emerging Technologies, Helen Toner. Okay. They also said OpenAI was founded as a nonprofit in 2015 with the core mission of ensuring that artificial general intelligence benefits all of humanity. In 2013, OpenAI restructured to ensure that the company would raise capital in pursuit of its mission while preserving the nonprofit's mission, governance, and oversight. Okay, they're talking about the fact that they went from an open source company to a closed source company. The majority of the board is independent, and the independent directors do not hold equity in OpenAI. While the company has experienced dramatic growth, it remains a fundamental governance responsibility of the board to advance OpenAI's mission and preserve the principles of its charter. Okay, all of this is so fascinating. There's a lot to unpack here. I'm going to do a way deeper dive on all of this. So stay tuned for that coming out. The one thing I do want to say is immediately after the news of this broke, I was like, who the heck is the new interim CEO? And I went and looked her up. It's Miriam Murati. She is from Albania. She's 34 years old. She went to Dartmouth College, and she's the chief executive officer now. But something that was interesting is as soon as this news broke, I went to Wikipedia, and immediately on Wikipedia, it was already updated to say that she is OpenAI's interim CEO. So, like, I mean, if you want to be a conspiracy theorist, like, someone immediately went and updated Wikipedia. I don't know. Maybe did they know ahead of time? Did the board tell someone to go update this as soon as it happens? I don't know how that necessarily works. The one thing I want to bring up, though, really quick, for those that don't know, I was born and raised on Vancouver Island, British Columbia, Canada. That's where I've lived my whole life. So something interesting is that Miri Murati, at the age of 16, left Albania to attend and graduate from Pearson College, UWC, which is located where? Vancouver Island, British Columbia, Canada. It's one of the schools and colleges around the world in the United World Colleges movement. I'm going to go into that. I'm going to go into what the school is. There's a lot of very interesting things to unpack, but I think I'll let you do your own research or think about this, but I'll just say she's from Albania. She went to school in a very prestigious, I don't want to say elitist, but essentially on Vancouver Island. For those that don't know, Vancouver Island has a bunch of like private boarding schools. And just to give you an idea, there's only 200 kids that go to this high school, right? It's a private boarding high school. You don't see their like tuition is not displayed on their website. You are not guaranteed to get in. It's an elitist school, essentially. It's very hard. Yeah. Anyways. She went to this elitist school with 200 kids from where I'm from, so I know what I'm talking about when it comes to these schools. On Vancouver Island, there's very expensive real estate. There are $20 million homes. It's a small island. The Queen and the royal family goes and hides out there. A lot of celebrities own homes there. Anyways, so all of this to say, there's some very interesting connections. I don't have time to go into everything today, but this is crazy. Sam Altman is out at OpenAI. I want to dive into maybe all of the craziness that is also going on. This thing is all developing. There's going to be a lot more interesting stuff. A lot of people are saying, was this Microsoft that kicked them out? But they're saying that kicked Sam Altman out because he got too big and powerful. A lot of people are saying, well, no, there's an independent board, and the independent board doesn't have any shares in the company, doesn't make any money from it. Obviously, in the case of the Quora CEO, yes, they are making money, even if that's indirectly from OpenAI. Quora is making money with Poe. So anyways, there's a lot of very interesting things. There's a lot of sketchiness, and I'm going to break it all down very soon. So stay tuned for a more in-depth episode. But as it stands, this is a wild story I'll continue to cover.
This episode is brought to you by Klaviyo, the platform that powers smarter digital relationships. With Klaviyo, you can activate all your customer data in real time, connect seamlessly with your customers across all channels, guide your marketing strategy with AI-powered insights, recommendations, and automated assistance. Deliver experiences that feel individually designed at scale and grow your business faster. Power smarter digital relationships with Klaviyo. Learn more at klaviyo.com/Spotify. That's KLAVIYO.com/Spotify.
This episode is brought to you by Shopify. That's the sound of switching your business to Shopify, the global commerce platform that supercharges your selling. Harness the best converting checkout and same intuitive features, trusted apps, and powerful analytics used by the world's leading brands. Stop leaving sales on the table. Discover why millions trust Shopify to build, grow, and run their business. Sign up today for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/tech23.
Thank you for listening to the AI Chat Podcast. If you enjoyed the podcast, I'd appreciate it if you rate me wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you're looking for an innovative group of AI enthusiasts, make sure you check out our Discord channel and also our Facebook community. It's obviously a lot more interactive than a podcast where we can actually share software tools, prompts that we're using in everyday AI. I'll leave a link for those in the description below.